Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin Bubble News channel. That time of year in the crypto markets when everything is going crazy is called altcoin season. At that point, everything starts to go up. Now, it always happens during an election year in the US because of this cycle, the Bitcoin half cycle, which is this everything code cycle. It usually happens in the summer or fall of that year, and things speed up and get weird and things go crazy when prices drop. They look like bananas too. So here are some charts I shared on Twitter. The banana zone is on the left side of those maps. The previous banana zone is where stabilization starts all of a sudden. It goes up a little, stays put for a while, and then it goes crazy. Rob Powell is the founder and CEO of Real Vision. Shared a picture of a banana by itself with the words patience. Bananas will come to those who wait. Most people would probably think this is just another silly internet joke. But among cryptocurrency investors, this meme has become very popular in the crypto Twitter community zone as a way to talk about an upcoming period of explosive growth and high volatility in the cryptocurrency market, marked by crazy trading and prices going up very quickly. During this phase, the crypto market is predicted to go crazy because the prices and use of crypto assets are rising so quickly. The total value of the crypto market could go from about $2.5 trillion today to at least $10 trillion next year. This means that some crypto assets could triple in value. For example, Bitcoin could go from being worth $68,000 to being worth around $270,000 per coin. Powell thinks Bitcoin will reach $200,000 in the worst event. Even more optimistic is he about Ethereum, which he thinks will do better than Bitcoin, and Solana, which he thinks will do better than both of the top cryptocurrencies. Powell recently talked about his plans with Ran Neuner, who hosts the Crypto Banter show. There was a lot of talk about the current state of the cryptocurrency bull market and what Powell thinks the banana zone will be like. Powell is known to be a supporter of Ethereum. He also talked about what it means for the top altcoin now that Ether exchange-traded funds are legal. The new part of the internet called the Internet of Value has been given to us. Ownership, settlement, and all of that other stuff. We couldn't own that like we could the internet. We can take this on. The number goes up as it is used, which means we make more money from it. It is a huge, democratic, and fair way to give a huge amount of money to a huge number of people. To give you an idea, this area is worth $2.5 trillion right now. It should be between $10 and $15 trillion by the end of this run. If you keep growing at this rate, you'll reach $100 trillion by 2032. There is $97.5 trillion in money available, which is why I keep telling people not to mess this up. The chance is so big, and all you have to do is own the new internet. That's the point. Yes, there is a banana zone, which is the time when everything goes crazy. After the corrective times, we go through the same cycle all over again. Now, will everything go exactly the same way? Will it be the same? Not at all. You can't be sure of this, but it's based on the cash cycle. Our plan is based on the broader cycle. It has to do with interest rates. It comes from many sources. This is what liquidity does. It helps pay off debts. This is why central banks and states inject liquidity. Things like the banana zone and the everything code cycle happen because we're in the big debt funding cycle right now. They need to pay off all the bills. In this way, they add money to the system. Rate cuts are how they do it. They do it through the backup repository. Number-based relaxing is how they do it. To roll over the loan, they do it in any way they can. That includes the US, China, Japan, the UK, and all of Europe. They all play the same game. Then, they all tee off. They are ready to step on the gas and have been waiting for prices to go down. Market prices have been going up because there is more money available. But it gets to the point where it needs to go up a lot to pay for the $10 trillion worth of things that need to be paid for. That's all there is to it. That's likely to happen this year and next. Also, Coinbase has 108 million accounts, but only 10 to 12 million are online at the moment. That goes from 10 million to 20 million to 30 million to 30 million as you get closer to the banana zone. All of a sudden, there are a lot of votes. That's on top of the political power of the companies that run ETFs. And it's now also a problem for these people with money. Because if they say the wrong things, the big donors who give money to their super PACs will start to put pressure on them. I think it's a bigger problem than they thought at first. And I think Liz Warren made a terrible mistake when she said we were building an army to fight crypto without understanding we were actually fighting a bunch of sick meme artists who live on the internet and are spread out all over the place. It's not easy to fight that battle. And I think they're beginning to see that this could be their own goal, since RFK is also using a professional crypto style. The Democrats will either have to kind of go along with it or try to say, we are the party that stands against this. Who does that play for, though? Those moves won't help them get the swing voter. I was looking at the ETH Bitcoin chart and thought it was going to turn. I believed the ETF would arrive soon. It wasn't something I thought would happen at that time. But I even said something new about this. It took place over the weekend before this news came out. We aren't getting a lot of follow-through right now because new money isn't coming into the system. People are putting some of their souls into ETH and getting into this trade out of fear of missing out. But really, the game starts when the ETF goes live, since most people have already bought shares. Of course, none of us are just sitting around with cash. We've all been given our share. You need to change between them. It's the institutional flow, but I think some people will trade some Bitcoin for ETH to play this trade. So I think the most important thing is going to be what story BlackRock comes up with. This is the game that I believe will happen all over the world. Another important thing to keep in mind is that ETH is only a third of the size, and about 20% of all ETH is staked. After that, if you do a lot of work on the chain, you'll start burning ETH again. That means you only have a very small amount. And a lot of ETH is just sitting there, either claimed or not staked. There isn't much ETH floating around. It depends on what we see with the price. BlackRock only needs to add it to their holdings. I don't know, because we've seen this before. The grayscale might lose $5 billion. Will $5 billion come into the bank? Most likely. During what amount of time? 3 months. What the ETF does for them is just cover them so they can use ETH as the base for the things they want to do. Because the ETF will not be used by Goldman Sachs. That's right, everyone wants to use ETH to tokenize goods and do other things. Yield is what Wall Street is really interested in. You can make things with yield. Yield lets you do many things. Take the ETH yield and buy call options to get goods that will go up or stay the same. Structured goods can be made. There are many things you can do. Since the ETH return is the big deal, I think they've always been interested in it. I've said this for a long time. It's not because it has a high yield, but because once you have yield, you can do a lot of clever things with money. A lot of them also want to build on the technology, whether it's on a layer 2 or an ETH. This is where they'll start tokenizing a lot of assets, though. You can choose to use Ethereum because it won't get you fired. A lot of these people have been building. Most banks have been building in this area and have had teams there since 2015, 16, 17. When you think about the tech they've been using, ETH sticks out. That's why they understand ETH. ETH is the big one. It won't get you fired. Your board won't scold you. Why didn't you use something else? But now that we have layer 2s, we can change the amount of security they need, which makes it cheaper and